Good morning. Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul. We are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. And happy Labor Day to you. It is good to see you guys here enjoying some time with me today. Thank you for starting your day with a wake up call, starting your holiday with a wake up call. I know I wanted to sleep in, but I could not. I have a commitment. So here I am. Good morning. Good morning, Dan, Grant, Will, Lauren, Janet. It is wonderful to see you guys here today. Anyway, we're going to pull a card off my deck, and you guys know how this works. I'm going to pull a card off the top of the deck. I'm going to ask you guys if you are the affirmation on that card, and what I'd like for you to do is to say out loud, "I am that affirmation." As we say these things, we make them real in our worlds and really take control over our internal narrative. So let's have some fun. Let's empower ourselves by today saying that I am dedicated. I am dedicated. I commit wholeheartedly to my pursuits. So I am dedicated. I commit wholeheartedly to my pursuits. Are you dedicated? You are dedicated. You commit wholeheartedly to your pursuits. And I'm going to write that down in the chat, which I've actually had spun up ever since I started up this broadcast. I hope you guys enjoy that. It'd probably be a little bit better when there's more folks here, but I understand it's a holiday, and, well, I'm not the only one who wanted to sleep in today. So I am dedicated. I commit my wholeheartedly to my pursuits. And in order for us to be successful at anything that we do, we have to be dedicated to it. We have to be persistent and determined at it, whatever it may be. I chose this image of a blacksmith hammer on hitting a piece of metal on an anvil because that is definitely some dedication right there. And there's a commitment required when you heat metal red hot. You can't do that in a lax or a slack or a way that is when you're not paying attention. Because let's face it, once you're working with red hot metal, you best be paying attention to what you're doing. And so I chose that as an imagery for the I am dedicated card, and that I do indeed commit wholeheartedly to my pursuits. In the same way that this blacksmith commits wholeheartedly, the metal has to be the right level of hot. It has to be the right color of red. And once you heat it up, the timer is ticking for how long you have in order to work it. Good morning, Brenda Jean. I see that you have arrived and commented. I love it when you guys comment on this. When we write these things down, we have to take a thought form, which is a nebulous thing, and we need to transmit it through our fingers in order to make it into actual words that we can understand, that other people can understand too. And as we do that, it engages a totally different part of our brain and really helps us to internalize the messages that we're saying. And so I am dedicated today. You are dedicated too. And together we commit wholeheartedly to our pursuits, to the things that are important to us. I remember a friend of mine he was giving a speech. He was talking about dedication. And he said, when you're making breakfast, the chicken is involved, but the pig is committed. The pig is dedicated to the breakfast. The chicken is involved in the breakfast. And that's very much how dedication goes. We have to give our whole life to it. We have to give all of ourselves, not necessarily our whole life in that we have to spend our whole life doing it, but we have to give all of ourselves to the things that are important to us. And as we do, those things will flourish, they'll blossom, they'll grow. And that's really what this card is inviting us to do today. It's inviting us to dedicate ourselves to the things that are important to us and to commit wholeheartedly to the things that are important to us. I'm probably one of the most egregious offenders of committing half-heartedly to something and then wondering why it didn't work out. Well, even though I know darn well why it didn't work out, because I committed half-heartedly to it. They say that if you chase two rabbits, you will lose them both. And so it's really important for us to understand what's most important in our lives, because as we do that, we then are empowered to dedicate ourselves to the things that are most important to us, as opposed to not really knowing what, and then moving a whole, doing 100 things half-heartedly, and then wondering why we haven't gotten any results at all. And so in the same way that the blacksmith is dedicated to this piece of steel as they heat it up and hammer it out, just as they're dedicated to it, as soon as they get it hot, the timer is ticking. Like I said, the timer is ticking, and the metal will stay hot only for a certain period of time, and we need to beat it into the shape that we need to beat it into in that time period. And so we are dedicated, and we have the ability to dedicate ourselves to the things that are important to us. And as we do that, it is inspiring to other people. As we dedicate ourselves, we are inspiring to other people. Brenda Jean's asking me when I'm finishing. I wrote a children's book a while back, and I had been paused looking for an illustrator. Brenda Jean, so funny you say that, because just yesterday, a friend that I had reached out to 3 years ago about illustrating that book messaged me out of the blue and said, "How did I miss this message for 3 years? Let's talk." So moving forward, interestingly enough. So yes, I commit wholeheartedly to my pursuits, and you can too. And just like, as Brenda Jean has correctly pointed out, I am the king of not finishing things, and so I know that's not a particularly empowering I am statement, and so I will say that I am changing that part of myself through my own narratives by saying words like this, by saying that I am dedicated to finishing the projects that I start, as opposed to that I am the person who doesn't finish the things that I start. I am as I move forward in life, becoming even better at finishing the things that I start, which is largely figuring out when to call them done. So anyways, I'm dedicated to that. Today I'm dedicated to doing all the giveaways that I've got to handle today. I have a fairly full schedule, but I will be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. with another card. I really appreciate you guys being here, and so thank you so much for showing up, and on this holiday, for waking up early to be here with me. I'll talk to you tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'll have another card for you, and we'll gather again to say nice things about ourselves. So I just want to say thank you so much to Janet and Lauren and Will and Grant and Daniel and excuse me, and Brenda Jean for coming by today and for exploring this card with me. You guys are awesome. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Aloha from Paradise.